Welcome to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where real people share timeless ideas. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and in every episode we dive into the philosophies, quotes, points, and life lessons that shape how we live, think, and grow. No matter where you are in life, this show is here to remind you wisdom is everywhere, and it's always relatable most of the times. Tell us your name and what you do, Bobbi.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bobbi Barrington. I live in Queensland, Australia. I am a speaker. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor. And I am also a trans woman. And my quote for everybody today is that one day there are no more one days. Life is short.
Man.
How's that?
One day there are no more one day. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's strong. That's bold. One day there are no more one day. What does the quote mean?
Well, it was through my life, I was always gonna be doing something, and it was always one day I'm gonna do this, one day I'm gonna do that, and then it came to a point where it was I no longer wanted that to be an option for me. I no longer wanted to be waiting for one day when I was going to do the thing. And today is the day I got to do the thing,
Okay.
and you put it off and you think you're going to live forever and you don't, and you just don't know. So it's about stepping up, doing the thing, starting now, even though it's scary, even though you don't know how, you don't know the path, make that one day today.
Wow. Okay. I want us to step back a bit, right? A lot of the quote you just shared is something that a lot of people would resonate with because, for certain reasons, they're like, oh, I'll do this, one day. Like for me, I'm curious. Why do you think, where do you think this is coming from? Like in terms of why do we put off the things that we want to do?
Because we're frightened, because we don't know how, because we don't know the path, because we outsource to I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, I don't have all the things yet, I don't have the resources, I'm too old, I'm too young, and we procrastinate about the thing that really matters because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to step into the unknown and do the thing you never did before, and it is so much easier to fall back into what's familiar. And sometimes what's familiar, you might even hate it. You might hate your life's conditions, but it's familiar and it's easy, and one day follows another day and you just follow the thing that you've always done. But I believe we're here for more. We're here for more than settling in the status quo of who we are and who we already are. And for me, I want to know what I'm capable of on this planet in this one life. And to experience that, it means going to the edge of comfort, belief, knowledge, all these things that, and it's challenging and it brings up emotions. And very few of us know how to handle our emotions because we're frightened of them and we push them away and we suppress them and medicate them because we just aren't taught how to handle the emotions of that unknown and stepping into that thing that you've never done before. And so we put it off and we maybe, go to work, watch TV, scroll, whatever it is we do, and not take that step because it's scary. That's why.
The strange thing about this, about going to the unknown is that it's like you're starting out something for the first time. Let's just say an example would be podcasting, right? You want to start your podcast. Let me use that example because that's something I can easily, relate to because I'm a podcaster, okay? And you've never done podcasting in your life and you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Stuff is scary. The technical stuff, the internet, everything is just, my guest is hopping on the call and I don't even know what to do. And everything is just going wrong. Now, we've not done it before. And so we're like, okay, I've not done it before, so I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not good at it. The strange thing is that it's by doing it, despite not knowing what you're doing, that's when you get to figure it out. But we don't do it. And because we don't even stick around long enough, we don't even get to figure it out. And so a lot of persons, they say they want to do certain things. And I'm like, have you done it before in your life? They're like, no. And they're like, oh, I'm not good at it. I'm like, how are you going to be good at it when you've not done it before in your life? Even the quote unquote prodigies that we have in the world, those persons, they also spend a lot of time practicing their crafts too. So despite the fact that they are talented, they also spend a lot of time doing the thing.
Yeah, like congratulations to you. Like here you are doing something, and there was a first time, as you say. And like all of us, like, so I'm a trans woman. I've transitioned. Like I've transitioned so much, like gender, but mindset, everything. But we're all transitioning, and we all have capabilities of things that we can already do, and it's so easy to diminish the value of those, and to make the value of the things we can't yet do so big. And yet we've done it our whole lives. Our whole lives we are standing on a mountain of evidence of what we can do. And yet when we step into that unknown, we get so, and it's me too. Like even today I've got my list of things to do, and they're all new things. And I think, oh, fuck, am I good enough? Like, what if people judge me? What if I fall flat on my face? And all of these things, they're the emotions around it. It's not the thing, it's the emotion. And that is the biggest thing, handling the emotions,
Yeah, what you just
and like,
said.
yeah, like you stepped into podcasting and you learnt and you got
Yeah,
feedback and you grew. That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. So
yeah. What you just said reminded me of the book The Alchemist. I don't know if you heard of it by Paul Cello. And in the book, there's a quote that tell your mind that the fear of suffering is greater than suffering itself. And every time I'm about to do something new, something strange, something scary, I remind myself that, dude, the fear of suffering. The thing is hard. The thing is, it's difficult, but that fear that I'm imagining in my head is greater than the thing, the difficulty, the actual difficulty itself. And so I just remind myself the fear of suffering is greater than suffering itself. And so I realize that, I just have to show up despite feeling scared and afraid.
but the other aspect to this is like the fear, we avoid it, right? But you started podcasting for a greater purpose, didn't you? There was
Yeah.
something that pulled you forward, that pulled you through the fear. Like you have a mission of, like contribution or making changes on the planet or something that was greater than all of that. Oh my God, I don't know how to do it. I'm frightened. It'll, like, what will people think? So,
Yeah.
so can I ask you, what was that? What was that mission that pulled you through all the challenges and the doubts
Yeah.
and
From
everything?
from it's simple. It's to collect stories from from people all over the world and get to share it with other persons. And so that for me is where I started from. And what you just said is reminding me of, it's like a dad who, has a son or daughter who is like, probably in the hand of or what's it now? Someone, a dangerous person, and they have to go rescue their daughter or their child. Now they're afraid, they are like scared, but the love for their kid surpasses the fear, and so they go and they do it despite. It's like fighting for your country, right? Right? If you have to defend your loved ones and your family, despite you're afraid that things can go wrong, you still have to show up because the love for your country, the love for your the people you love is greater than the fear itself. And so sometimes it's not that we are afraid that's the problem, it's that we don't have something that is bigger than the fear we have. And that's where the problem is.
Yeah, yeah, and that's courage. That is where courage is.
Yeah,
it's not lack of fear, is it? It's like doing the thing anyway, even though you are frightened. Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah. I
all of
feel
us, yeah, like, all of us, like I'm a trans woman, and like for people like me, going out into the world, it takes courage, like especially the first times and stuff, as presenting as a different gender, like, and that is a scary thing to do. But it's very visible. It's a very visible thing because you can often see the people, But all of us have courage in us, like your courage. It's hard to see outside of your world, there is wisdom. There he's doing this podcast. Oh my God, he's got it made. He's crushing it. Look at him. Like I could never be like him. But we don't
uh
see the Jews. You don't see the journey or the path that took you to where you are. So I applaud
Yeah.
that.
A lot of times when guests compliment me that, oh, you know how to do the interview, and I'm like, I just shake my head, and I'm like, it took me over 300 interviews to get to the point where I am now, that we are able to have a conversation, and I'm not like, oh, I need to look at the next question. What do I ask her? Oh, and what do I say? What do I do? And it took me this series of, so it took 300 guests to actually get me to this point, and I feel that's the thing a lot of persons miss, in this time and age. It's that. Let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join, or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation. When you're starting, you have no evidence, right? But you have to do the thing to get evidence in order to get confidence. Because now, if I'm about to show up for an interview and I feel scared that, oh, the interview is going to go, I don't know. Because let me be honest with you. Everybody I meet on my podcast, they're all strangers. I don't know you. This is the first time I'm seeing you on the podcast and we're having the conversation. And so there's this weird, weird feeling that, oh, is it, this, how you like every time, like in real life sense, where you're like, you want to talk to a stranger, I'm like, oh, I'm scared. How would the conversation go? And I'm like, I've done 300 interviews. It wasn't that bad. It was good. This is just one of them. So let's go.
Can I quote a little metaphor here?
Okay.
So I mentioned earlier, I speak French, all right?
Okay.
And I have always been interested in French, and all my life. Don't know why, right back to when I was a childhood. And for like nearly all of my life, like the first 60 odd years, I'm 66 now, so the first 60 odd years of my life, I was thinking one day I'll, here we go, one day I want to be fluent. And it never happened, and I learned a bit here, took a course there, spent time in France, blah, 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 until I got serious. And the one day that I got serious about it, and, I use Duolingo, for example. It's not the only thing I do, but Duolingo helps me be consistent with it and every day to show up in it. And it's not the only thing, but I now have a streak on Duolingo of, I think it's 2,100 and something days. It's 5 years of consistency. And when I got serious and the belief curve shifted, and all of a sudden, that curve, and then whoa, it went, and I got so good so quick. And one day was like today, the day I got serious. I didn't put it off anymore. And it's like you with your podcast. If you look at the curve of your conversations and your confidence and engagement, there's probably a point in there where it sort of suddenly took off, a breakout point. Yeah. But you stayed in the flame, and you stayed in the fire and the doubt and the discomfort, and oh my God, it's not working and nobody's listening and all that stuff, and you stayed there. So
like one day I'll learn this. One day I'll sing. One day, like for I think one of the things I'm trying to embrace this period is to say yes or to say no, but to say it confidently, right? So I look at it and like I ask myself, for example, French, right? I'm like, do I want to learn French? And I'm like, no. Oh, that's okay. I don't want to learn French. It's not a big deal. I scrap it out of my list. So there's no one day list, right? And if the answer is yes, yes, I want to learn French. I'm like, okay, so what's stopping me from learning the French now? Like, what's the big deal about it? And if it's no, you remove it so that you don't have this mental baggage in your head where like, oh, I'm going to do this one day. Like, you do it or not do it. Choose one. Can't be like, oh, I'm on the fence. I'm like, oh, eventually.
Yeah, on the fence is a no, really. So
yeah, it is a no.
But this for me has been a big learning just recently about listening to my body, listening to, like even here, I have a coin, it's $1 in Australia, and I use it to test, like, Bobby, do you want to do X or do you want to do Y? Okay, I want to do X. Okay, toss the coin heads.
Ah,
And then, and then,
ah.
and then it's not the coin tells me, it's that I can feel in my body how I am responding to that. I'm going to do X or I'm not going to do X. So I use my body to tell me, like, really get clear on my gut, on my intuition, what is the thing that I want to do, and listen rather than in my head, out of my head and into my body. This is new to me. Yeah. So maybe
Yeah,
your listeners can, have a coin handy and like test their
yeah.
test their idea.
I think that's just solves indecisiveness because the a lot of the decisions that we put off, they're not quote unquote major decisions, right? They are decisions that, okay, if you start learning French, you realize that French is not for you. I mean, you move on with your life. There's no big deal there, right? But we'll put it off there, and doing the coin flip just gets you to say, okay, yeah, yes, yeah, no, and you move on, and it's done, and it's not, you don't spend a lot of time on the crossroad thinking and asking yourself, which way should I go?
Yeah. And there is another aspect to this too, is that there really isn't any wrong way. There are just ways. And like in retrospect, you might look back and say, oh, I wish I did that instead. But at the time, when you make the best decision you can with the resources you have, they're all correct ways, And like one of the quotes that I talk about sometimes is this idea about school kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? As if you have to know it all in advance and choose the right course way back when you were like at school. Like, it's ridiculous.
Uh, uh, so I remember, the reason I'm laughing is that I just remember, I think a short video I saw on the internet, and they were asking the guy, the little kid on graduation day, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he was like, I want to be mama's boy. Ah, and I was like, this, you can't make this stuff up. And I was like, wow, like that's nice.
No, no,
Well, I mean,
no.
it's not wrong. There's nothing wrong in that. It's going to, as long as he loves his mom, takes care of his mom, he's still mama's boy.
There is another expression about climbing the ladder to success and then discovering it's leaning on the wrong wall. You climb the ladder for a second, and then oh shit, it's on the wrong wall, and I have to go back. But no, like, it's such a terrible way to look at it, because we just have ladders. We just climb them. We see which one feels the best. Climb that ladder. Okay, now I climb a different ladder. There's no wrong ladders. Just get out there and climb ladders.
Yeah.
And feel good about it and do your best. Yeah.
I think that's the issue all young people have nowadays, is that they're not trying things, they're not doing things, they're not out there in the wide, exploring, moving and doing, trying painting and all these other things. And then they sit down and they start telling you that, well, I'm looking for my calling. I don't know what I should be doing. And I'm like, how do you know it? Okay, are you waiting for the calling to knock on your door and say, excuse me, madam? I am your calling. And I'm like, I mean, it happens to a couple of persons, right? It does happen to a couple of persons who tell you that, when I dreamt about it, this was my calling. For other persons, in the midst of the battle, like in the field, that's when they find that yeah, this is what I was born for, right? Like in the
Yeah.
midst, while they were doing it and they're sweating and they're like, yeah, this is what I was made for, right? But
Yeah.
not for others, because you happen to read one or two biographies and they told you that, oh, ever since I was young, I have always wanted to do this, and you feel that, oh, I have to follow this path. No, you have to try things. It's like, and we're sitting there and we're asking, what's your favorite dish? And like, I don't know. And I'm like, have you tried any? Like, no, I've not tried any. How do you know your favorite dish if you've not tried any dish? I mean, now that we say that, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, so you're waiting for the dish to come try you now? It doesn't work that way. I mean, it
Yeah.
could, but you have to go hunting for the purpose if the purpose doesn't come for you. And if
Yeah.
Muhammad doesn't come from the mountain should go to Muhammad. Either way,
Yeah.
they meet themselves.
Yeah. Around 15 years ago, when I started doing personal development work, I was in London and I was doing some T. Harv Eker trainings, and I was in a room and looking for my passion. What is my passion? And I looked everywhere for it, and I looked behind the sofa and under the cushions and, in behind the fridge, as it rolled into the corner.
Okay.
Where's my passion?
Okay. Did you
And
see it in a box?
Is it in a box? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it wasn't in a box. And this coach, he tapped me on the heart and he said, "That's where it is, Bobby. It's in there." But I didn't know what he meant at the time, and I was so in my head and so not in my heart or in my body at the time. And this growth for me recently has been about getting out of my head and into, like, getting out of controlling everything with my head and trusting in the universe and what happens with my body. And now I've, through a process, through coaching and through a lot of letting go of how things have to be and how life has to be. And it's been a quite a hard journey, actually, to get here. But now I've found, I love it. I love who I am now. I love who I am in this body, in this authenticity, in this mindset. And, my coach said to me, like, all of these ideas that have bubbled up for you, Bobbi, what lights you up? And I said, I think I will make more of an impact in the world with what I say than with what I do. And maybe that's the same to you, like, you're leveraging the power of voice and people and technology to spread a wider message. And that's me too. I want to spread a message of possibility and strategies to help people shift their reality, that they hold on so tightly. This is my truth. This is my reality. You're not taking it away from me. And I like prise open the fingers and say, are you sure? Are you sure that's your truth? Or is it a truth that you've inherited from someone else? And then when we prise it open, we discover we have more options, more resources, more possibilities.
Well,
And that's what I
thank you.
do.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Bobby. I was just listening to you and I just looked at the time now and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? It's been an absolute delight chatting with you, Bobby. I'm so sad that we have to put an end to this conversation, but whew, wow, it was a journey ride. Where can people connect with you and learn more about you and what you do?
So my name is Bobbi, Bobbi. So my website is Bobbi Barrington. So that's Bobbi Barrington, BARRINGTON.com. And you can also find me on socials like LinkedIn and Instagram, Bobbi Barrington. And I'm also on Facebook.
Okay.
And you can email me at bobbi@bobbibarrington.com should you wish. And I would be delighted to spread my message and support other people through speaking, coaching, mentoring
Wow.
more widely. So
Yeah,
thank you so
I'll
much
be
for this
sure to put
opportunity.
all the links in the description and the show notes so
Amazing.
listeners can just click and go directly to
Amazing.
the place, the site. Thank you so much, Bobby.
My pleasure. It's been a delight, and I so enjoyed this conversation with you.
You've been listening to Relatable Wisdom, and I've been your host, Wisdom Okonkwo. You've been listening to the podcast where every story, quote, and insight helps you see life a little differently. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the show on your favorite podcast app and share it with someone who loved the conversation. For more inspiring voices and timeless wisdom, visit relatablewisdom.com. Until next time, keep living, learning, and collecting wisdom that matters most to you.